Alright guys, I'm going to do my Jag Panzer tier ranking video. Well, let's just talk about my history with Jag Panzer. To be honest, I hate to say this, but I kind of got into them a little late in the game. I knew about them in the early 2000s, maybe around 2003, 2004-ish. But for some reason, I really didn't check out their discography until like 2010, 2011. I don't know why. I could punch myself for that, because what we got here is a really, really solid, consistent band that really never lets you down. I mean, they got one dud in their discography, but I'll talk about that. Another thing about Jag Panzer, they're a little bit too consistent. So consistent that this video might be a little boring around the second half. I'm not trying to get you to turn the video off or anything, but you know, sometimes I need something negative to talk about to make the video longer, and there's just not enough to talk about. But I guess that's a good thing. So, alright. And Jag Panzer sound, what would I consider them? Well, I would say traditional metal leaning on power metal. I would, you know, I kind of want to say that they're kind of like an Iced Earth, but without the viciousness, without all the crazy triplets all the time. It's kind of what I hear. I hear a lot of the type of melodies, and, you know, Harry Conklin's vocal style is kind of in the realm of Matt Barlow, only without a lot of the meanness that comes out of Matt Barlow. So yeah, I would say you know, Harry Conklin's a little more Dio, and Matt Barlow's a little more Paul Stanley, but they kind of both bands kind of have a similar idea on a melody, which I think is pretty cool. All right, well, let's start with their first album, Ample Destruction, that came out in 1984. So this is actually the album that did get me into Jag Panzer. I used to think I was kind of getting out of power metal just a hair. And I just didn't really know what kind of band Jag Panzer was until I really dug into them. I just kind of thought they were just another power metal band. And the truth is, that's really not accurate at all. Because this band really started off with 80s traditional metal and well, traditional power, whatever you want to call it. And of course, I love the 80s stuff a lot. When I heard Ample Destruction, when I found out they had an album in 1984, which I didn't realize they were that old for a long time, I realized that this is really good. Like, if I don't get into Jag Panzer at all, I at least have to get this album. So it's pretty much, it sounds very 80s power metal, I mean, but it's so good. The production is solid, especially for 1984. I mean, I could find a lot worse productions, you know, from other US power metal bands from 84, but this one just, everything is on the highest level possible. The vocals are insane. You know, the guitar riffs are, you know, they're not your just generic metal riffs. I mean, they're really, the songs are interesting. The ideas are good. The solos are good. I don't know. Like, this album's just fantastic. Kind of dark. This one's probably a little more in your face than what later Jag Panzer would be. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say this was ample greatness, no doubt about it. Okay, well, they also did another album, which actually didn't technically get a release until like 2004, I think. But they did an album that was never released with a different singer. It's called Chain of Command. I guess this one's been bootlegged to death back in the day. But so it's kind of a pretty competent follow-up to Ample Destruction. The recording's actually really good. It's almost the same degree, same level of quality as Ample Destruction sound-wise. But the music is a little more melodic than Ample Destruction. The singer's a little more of your typical clean 80s power metal singer. Nothing amazingly unique, but he is a pretty good vocalist. If this guy had to be the vocalist for the rest of the Jag Panzer albums, it might have worked. But I am happy that that Harry Conklin was the main singer later on and throughout the whole career. So, because he's just so unique and so talented. But the songs here, actually, the good thing about this album, though, even though this album was kind of unreleased for a long time, the songs, like 5 of the songs, I think, were re-recorded on a couple other Jag Panzer albums, which is great because they didn't go to waste. There's a few songs that kind of went to waste, but that are still good. But go ahead and buy that Chain of Command album. I'd say it's worth having for your Jag Panzer collection. But you know what? Even though I think these songs that were redone are better on the later albums, I will have to give this album Panzer rating, just because I know that they would be better with Harry Conklin and an updated recording. So that's the only thing that puts it a little lower. Okay, now let's fast forward to 1994. Okay, this is the only real dip in Jag Panzer's career. I talked about a dud. This is the dud. Dissident Alliance. I don't know what happened here. I have some theories. I've never really read into the history of this album, but let's just look at it this way. And I'll spare Mark Bridey, the rhythm guitar, main guitarist of this band. So it's the 90s. I get it. Every band had to eat. Every band had to. It was either sink or swim. You know, you could try to continue coming out with the same metal you're known for, but in a time where that wasn't popular, you know, you might have had to just rely on Europe to survive, and it was just a risk. So, you know, grunge was on the rise. You know, what do you do? Grunge and like what's the word? Groove metal was kind of what was popular. So they kind of did a combination of both. It's a little bit of groove, a little bit of grunge, a little bit of not good. Let's just say. Funny enough that the guitars still pretty well sound like Mark playing. It sounds like something he would do riff-wise. Not all the riffs are terrible. I mean, I can still hear some Jag Panzer isms in here, but the guitar tone is horrible. The production is just not good at all. The vocalist, this guy sucks. He might be a cool guy, but I do not like him for this. I don't like him, dude. This guy had no business being in Jag Panzer. I mean, he just has no range. He's just gruff. He's just rough. Just not good. Not good. So, even though some of the riffs are decent, everything is just pulled down. It's just weighed down. I don't like it. This is almost like Saint Anger 10 years before Saint Anger came out. So I'll have to give this, rate this squirt gun. Yes, went from tanks to squirt gun. All right. But the good news is they would come back in 97 with a fantastic record, Fourth Judgment. This one is pretty much, sounds like what Jag Panzer would be for the rest of their career. So they kind of found a sound, stuck with it. They came back, they came strong. Harry Conklin returned. You know, Joey Tafola is on guitars again. This is just a really, really good record. You know, it's kind of, it maybe a little bit of that Ample Destruction sound is there, but for the most part, this is a little more melodic, a little more ballsy in tone, but very much more melodic this time around. And this is where the boring part of the review comes in. because there ain't much to say about all the records from here on out. Because they're all so good and similar in their own ways. They're just different enough to be interesting, but they're just so consistent. So, all right. So the Fourth Judgment, I'll have to give for sure ample greatness. It's a great record, and this one does have a few songs that were from Chain of Command, like Shadow Thief is one of them. But I'm not going to go in and break all that down. We'll just talk about the next record. Okay, so that gets ample greatness. Now we're going to talk about The Age of Mastery. Pretty much a logical follow-up to The Fourth Judgment. I mean, also this has a few tracks that came from Chain of Command, also done better here. So this album, you know, kind of continues with a lot more of that traditional metal sound, but a lot more melodic. Definitely a lot more on the Chain of Command sound than the Ample Destruction sound. So, what can I say? Everything's here. It's in form, Jag Panzer form, ample greatness. Next, we got Thane to the Throne. Finally, something I can actually say that's different about this album. This is a concept album, and probably one of the best concept albums ever made, period. It's sounds like it's based on Shakespeare, which is really interesting. You know, if you think Shakespeare is boring, listen to it in Jag Panzer form. It definitely will not bore you. This album's fantastic. Now we do have... oh yeah, I think Chris Broderick actually started on Age of Mastery. So this one has Chris Broderick on it. Also known as the guitarist that was in Megadeth for a while. But he was equally good in Jag Panzer. This album is awesome. Every track is amazing. It's a long record. I think it's over an hour. But every moment, every second of this album is great, like from beginning to end. A lot of just chunky rhythms on here by Mark, and yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say. It's just it's probably my favorite Jag Panzer album. Ample greatness. Next, we got Mechanized Warfare. This one kind of experiments a little more with a modern sound a little bit, but still kind of maintains that traditional metal vibe. A little more tuned down guitars on this one. You know, this is the kind of Jag Panzer that kind of scared me off back in the early 2000s. I thought they were more of a modern power metal band, but they're really not. They're really not. I think I even owned this album for like a brief amount of time back in like 2005 or whatever, 2004. I liked it, but for some reason I should have gave it more spins. I don't know. I think I might have traded it for something else. I don't know. I was an idiot. That was stupid. But yeah, this has all your Jag Panzer traits on it. Harry Conklin's amazing. Chris Broderick's amazing. Mark's amazing. This whole thing's amazing. Ample greatness. Next, we have Casting the Stones. Kind of more of what you'd expect from Jag Panzer. I mean, you know, it kind of sounds a little bit like Mechanized Warfare, but kind of not. It's just another good Jag Panzer record. Everything's awesome. There's enough good ideas on here to keep you entertained. Ample greatness. Don't know what else to say. See, what do we got after that? Scourge of the Light. I think that they kind of had a little bit of a hiatus. I can't remember exactly what year Casting the Stones came out, but it was quite a long time ago. But then they came out Scourge of the Light, I think in like 2011. This album really is underrated. I don't think this one gets enough attention. This one, rather than sounding a little more modern at times than the past two albums, this one's a little more old school in my opinion. But I don't know, like there's a little more traditional metal on this one in my opinion. I don't know what else to say about it. Another great Jag Panzer record. I'll have to give this one ample greatness. And now let's fast forward to 2017, a 6-year hiatus. Actually, I think the band did kind of break up for like 2 years for a little bit. I don't know if that was pre-Scourge of the Light or post, I can't remember. But I remember thinking that was a bummer, because this is when I was kind of starting to get into the band. So they came out with an album called The Deviant Chord. I remember when Mark was announcing this on Facebook, and I was really, really excited about it. I remember he revealed the album art, and I'm like, this has got to be really, really good. And it is. I do think, though, this album, I think I prefer Scourge of the Light a little bit more than this one, in my honest opinion, as far as like comebacks go. This is kind of like a double comeback. But I think the production on this one kind of bugs me a little bit. Jag Panzer's always pretty well had amazing productions, especially since The Fourth Judgment in 1997. They've always kind of had the same really, really polished, good production. And while I'm not always a fan of super polished productions, it always worked for Jag Panzer. I think their music really shines with that kind of production. And this one doesn't quite sound that way, and I think it hurts it a little bit for me. But as far as the music goes, I mean, it's same old Jag Panzer. I mean, I feel this one's a little more on the traditional metal vein. I don't know. And also, Joey Tafola came back on this one as well. So yeah, we got the Ample Destruction Fourth Judgment lead guitarist on this, and I think that's really, really cool. I think this album maybe in some ways plays it a little too safe for me. I don't know what it is, but I do like it. Part of me almost wants to put it as Panzer, on the high side of Panzer, but I'll probably put this as I'll give it ample greatness, because it's not a weak record anyway. It just might be on the lower side of ample greatness, but I'll go ahead and put it up there. So there you go. That's Jag Panzer. So I've said a lot of good stuff about this band. Is there anything I can criticize about them? Maybe they could experiment a little more, but honestly, they don't really need to, because they're really good at what they do. So, I don't know, maybe some of their album covers aren't my favorite. Fourth Judgment kind of looks like a PlayStation game or a PC game. I don't know. Very minimal things I've got to say negative about this band. But no, their album covers are fine. A lot of them just aren't my style, but they're fine. I think the Deviant Chord looks really, really cool. And of course, they actually have an album coming out pretty soon called The Hallowed. It looks pretty cool. I'm really excited about this. So I hope the production's a little better on it. But otherwise, you know, I'm just expecting another quality Jag Panzer record. And I guess it's going to be another concept album, which is cool. I'm excited about that. I like concept albums. Jag Panzer did a great job with Thane to the Throne, so I would expect only greatness. But anyway, and another thing I got to mention about the band, they're pretty active on Facebook. They seem like really cool guys. I've even had Mark Briody, or however you say his name, Briody, I don't know. I might be saying it wrong. I apologize if I am. But he mingles with his fans. He's replied to my comments. He's a cool guy. Harry Conklin also seems like a cool guy. I don't know. I support the guys, and I wish them the best. Till next time.